One of the biggest programs in the United States to help seniors and retirees on Medicare get help paying for their medications is the federal LIS program, or the Low Income Subsidy Program. It is not Medi-Cal. That has to be said first. But it does allow people with even moderate income to apply. It is free and it is nationwide. And once someone is enrolled into it, it could cut out almost all of their prescription drug costs. So today I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to fill out the LIS application so that you all can see. Now, of course, this is just for entertainment purposes only, but I will include the links down below as well as resources to get help on the application or to get the application to fill it out online through Social Security website, or if you want to download the application, print it out old school and mail it in. Hi, I'm Michael, and this is Michael's Medicare. And if you or somebody you know is trying to figure out what is that best Medicare option for them during the AP or really all year round, give us a call at the information down below and we can help them to make those tough Medicare choices. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. So just real quick before we get started on the walkthrough, there are two ways to apply for this program. You can do it online directly through the Social Security website. And again, that link is going to be down in the comments. And I think this is probably going to be the best and fast way to apply. But there is also the paper application, which I'm going to show you today. It's the same information whichever way you go, which is the least good, but I know a lot of folks are old school that way. So the application can be filled out and returned to your local Social Security office or mailed back in. All right, so let's get to that walkthrough. All right, so let's take a first look at the Social Security LIS application. And again, this is going to be the walkthrough if you all and don't realize that by now. The first page here is just essentially a cover page just for your information, FYI. If you do need to look this application up or the form online, it is SSA-1020. They have them in a variety of different languages, so not just English, not just Spanish, but they have like Arabic and Thai and all the other languages. But again, this is just the cover page, but this is what it should look like on the PDF. So if we move to the next page, this page is going to be for the very beginning of the application. And primarily it has information and instructions on how to fill out the application. If you are someone who has assistance, you have someone helping you through this, and you're doing the paper application, then you can include their information on there if they would like. And in general, it just says make sure that it is in black ink, that you keep your letters as capital letters and X's inside the boxes. So don't use the check marks, don't use your initials, just use an X. So that's pretty straightforward, as well as it has the address once the application is completed, as well as the web link if you want to go do it online, which again I will say is much faster. It's the same information and it goes directly to SSA, so it doesn't get lost in the mail, it doesn't have any of those problems. But you know, again, if you prefer to do it on paper, and I get it, this is where you would send it to. So the application overall is pretty straightforward. And we're just going to kind of start from the top and move our way down. And obviously this top box is for official use only, so that's not for us. And we'll go to the first question, which is your first name. And so, although I am Michael, the applicant today is going to be Jeff. So we'll put his first name in there, Jeff, and his middle name, Jay. We'll call him Jeff John Jefferson, his last name. And get that put in there. And then we can move on to Social Security number. This is not a real Social Security number. Don't try to use it. 123458794. Or it is a real one, but it's not for Jeff Jefferson or for me. And his date of birth is going to be, we'll put in there at 10/29/1960. So that is pretty straightforward, right? Just his name and his Social Security number and his date of birth. Now, next question, number 2. If you are married and living with your spouse, please provide the following information as it appears on your spouse's Social Security card. If you are not currently married, do not live with your spouse, or are widowed, skip to number 3, and do not include any information about your spouse on this application. So Jeff J. Jefferson is going to be single for the purposes of this example, so we're going to leave that part empty. Number 3, if you are married and live with your spouse, do you have a savings, investment, or real estate worth more than $27,600? If you are not married or you do not live with your spouse Is the value more than $13,820? Do not count your home, vehicles, personal possessions, life insurance, burial plots, irrevocable burial contracts, or back payments from Social Security or SSI. So in this case, Jeff is going to say no or not sure. Both are good options. If you say yes to it, obviously you may not be eligible for the extra help program because you have income or assets or resources, I guess, that are overall over the amount. But it never hurts to put no or not sure if you are not sure and kind of sort it out in the wash and go through the process. It's not saying that they aren't going to check it, because they will check it, but if you're not sure and you don't know someone who's sure, or you're not sure, it's okay to get not sure and still submit it. Oh, also going back, I do want to mention here if you do have a spouse who also wants to apply for extra help, you can include their information on there. So you can have both folks applying for it if you're both on Medicare and have prescription drug coverage and want to get help paying for it. So it's a nice benefit to be able to kind of do it all together. Next up, it says, if you placed an X in the no or the not sure box in question number 3, answer all the following questions. If you are married and living with your spouse, you must answer all the questions for both of you. So number 4, enter below money amounts of all bank accounts, investments, and cash that you, your spouse, if married and living together, or both of you own. Also include items that either of you own with another person. Include only dollar figures, not account numbers. If you or your spouse do not own any items listed, alone or with another person, place an X in the none box. Do not include back payments from Social Security or SSI received in the last 10 months. So in this case, we're going to say that Jeff has $1,000 as combined total of all his bank accounts put together. So we'll put that $1,000 in there. And then none for the combined total of all the stocks or bonds and savings bonds, mutual funds, individual retirement accounts, or other similar investments, and none for any other cash at home or anywhere else. So I guess that means buried in the ground, maybe? Okay. Number 5, will some money from the sources listed in question number 4 be used to pay for funeral or burial expenses? In this case, no. And it's just for Jeff? No, because he is by himself. But if you have a spouse, you could click yes or no. Number 6, other than your home and property in which it is located, do you or your spouse, if married and living together, own any real estate? Examples of other real estate are summer homes, rental properties, or undeveloped land you own, which is separate from your home. So in this case, it's going to be no. Number 7, for this question, a relative is someone related to you by blood, adoption, or marriage, but not including your spouse. How many relatives live with you and depend on you or your spouse for at least 1/2 of their financial support? Please do not include yourself or your spouse in the numbers you entered. If your household consists only of you and you or your spouse, place an X in the 0 box and place an X in only one box. So in this case, just Jeff, we're going to put an X in the 0 box. Next up, number 8. If you or your spouse, if married and living together, receive income from any other sources listed below, you must answer the questions for both of you. Please enter the total amount you received each month. If the amount changes from month to month or you do not receive it every month, enter the average monthly income for the past year of each type in the appropriate box. Do not list wages and self-employment, interest income, public assistance, medical reimbursements, or foster care payments here. If you or your spouse do not receive income from a source listed below, put an X in the none box for those sources. In this case, we're going to put the Jeff is receiving the average, around the average of Social Security benefits in the United States right now, which is $1,800 for Social Security benefits before deductions, and then none for railroad benefits, veterans benefits, other pensions or annuities before deductions. Do not include any money you receive from any items you included in number 4, so that's still none. And then other income not listed above, including alimony, net rental income, workers' compensation, unemployment, private and state disability payments, etc. So no for that. I think we're just going to say that Jeff just has Social Security coming in. Number 9, have any of the amounts included in the question age decreased in the last 2 years? No, thanks to the COLA, it goes up. Questionably enough, but it does always go up. It doesn't go down. If you have worked in the last 2 years, you need to answer questions 10 through 14. If you are married and living with your spouse, and either one of you has worked in the last 2 years, you need to answer questions 10 through 14. Otherwise, skip to question number 15. So in this case, we're going to indicate that Jeff is not working, but I will read them just so we are clear on them. So number 10, what do you expect to earn wages before taxes and deductions this calendar year? You're going to put none. Number 11, what do you expect your earnings from self-employment to be this calendar year? In this case, it is none. So we're going to put an X in the none box. If you are not self-employed, go to questions number 12. So none for Jeff and none for spouses, I guess. There's no spouse. Have the amounts you included on 10 or 11 decreased in the last years? No, in this case. If you or your spouse stopped working in 2018 or 2019 or plan to stop working in 2019, 2020, enter the month of the year. Obviously this one, we'll just get this one updated out. But this, you would put the year that you stopped plan working. If you're younger than the age of 65, answer questions number 14. If you are married and living with your spouse and either one of you is younger than the age 65, continue to question 14. Otherwise, skip to question number 15. So number 14, do you or your spouse have to pay for things that enable you to work? Will you count only a part of your earnings towards the income limit if you work and receive Social Security benefits based on the disability or blindness and you have work-related expenses for which you are not reimbursed? Examples of such expenses are the cost of medical treatment and drugs for AIDS, cancer, depression, or epilepsy, a wheelchair, a personal attendant service, vehicle modifications, driver assistance, or other special work-related transportation needs, work-related assistive technology, guide dog expenses, sensory and visual aids, and braille translations. So in this case, it's going to be no, but that might be valuable for those folks who do have those. Next, number 15. The information about Medicare Savings Program, you may be able to get help from your state with your Medicare costs under the Medicare Savings Program. To start the application process for the Medicare Savings Programs, Social Security will send information from this form to your state unless you tell us not to. If you want to get help from the Medicare Savings Program, do not complete this questionnaire. Just sign and date the application, and your state will contact you. If you are not interested in filing the Medicare Savings Program, place an X in the box below. So we're going to put X for Jeff because we're going to put that he is not interested. But the MSP is a great program, and we'll probably do more videos on the MSP at some point here in the future because it is kind of a nice addition to Medicare, Medicaid, and it might even be eligible for some folks depending at the level they're at. For folks who have income that's too high for Medicaid and Medi-Cal here in California. So it is a good program, but it does take some understanding of what it does and a little bit more in depth. But if it's something you want to apply for, and I would encourage anyone to apply for it if they're struggling with their Medicare costs, apply. Again, worst they could say is going to be no. Last up is going to be for signatures, and it says all the attestations here on there. So I would encourage you to read all that. It's quite long, so I'm not going to read it all. But I would encourage you to read it, and you could put your signature and the date and the phone number. That's not my real phone number. Don't call me on that. And the mailing address, that's also not a real address, I don't think. I tried to Google Earth it, but it didn't show up. So there's not, I don't think, a 123 Jefferson Ave, apartment 7. But again, obviously that's important so that they can contact you back if they have any questions or need to send you letters. And if you change your mailing address within the last 3 months, place next year. No, Jeff has not. And I would prefer that we contact someone else. If we have additional questions, please provide a person's name. So if you want to have someone else connected, you could put that there. And then if someone else assisted you, it's going to ask for their information down below. Family members. Notice it does not mention person from the internet. Don't put me down there. But if you do have someone who's actually helping you, a social worker, an attorney, an agent, a family member, a friend, you can put their information in there and they can be a part of that process as well. Now, if you get enrolled in the LIS program, just kind of as a final rundown here, you won't get a card or anything. It's not like you get an official card that says you are an LIS. You will get an approval letter, and when you go to apply for any of your Medicare programs or Medicare health plans or Part D plans, it will be something that your agent or the person helping you or the carrier will be able to check to see which level, if you are in LIS and which level you are eligible for. Again, it may change around throughout the year depending on your situation and depending on the criteria for it. So that is going to be the walkthrough on there. Hopefully this is helpful. And again, the information, I'll put a link to the online application down below. and also the PDF. Although, again, do the online one if you can, if you have the ability. You might even be able to call it in, although I have not seen that. But you can reach out to an agent or someone who helps with this, or a social worker, or even Social Security. They'll be able to point you in the right direction. But hopefully this gives you an idea of what the process is. Obviously, it doesn't take long, especially without me talking and reading all the stuff. It's something that's really easy to apply, and it'll be a big help if you become eligible for it, because it'll save you a whole boatload of money. There you have it. Fun and educational walkthrough about how to fill out the LIS application. Just a reminder, the income levels do change every single year, and that can mean that even if you weren't eligible previously to apply because of your income or your resources, some of that may have changed. And because those limits have increased, now you might be eligible for. I mean, what's the worst they could say? No? Also, just as a side note, if someone does get enrolled in the LIS program, if you had the Part D late enrollment penalty for not enrolling in Medicare Part D prescription drug plans when you first became eligible for and didn't have other credible coverage to help pay for those things, that penalty will be eliminated if you get accepted into the LIS program. So it's not a reason to enroll, but yeah, it's still pretty good. So with all that, if you or somebody you know has a question about their Medicare plans, please feel free to reach out to us at the information down below, and either me or somebody from my team will be happy to help them over the phone or in person at one of our many storefronts across Southern California, in person or over the phone. So with that, for Michael's Medicare, I of course am Michael, hoping that you have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.